Sometimes women overthink what to say to a man. They twist their minds into knots trying to find the perfect words, the perfect message, the perfect way to keep his attention. But let me tell you something. It's not about how much you say. It's about what you make him feel. A man doesn't chase words. He chases the feeling behind them. See, men are simple, not stupid, just simple. They respond to peace, confidence, and mystery. You want to make a man chase you. Don't feed him your whole heart in a single text. Feed him a spark. Give him something that makes him lean forward and say, wait, what does she mean by that? That's how you win the game. Now I'll give you something powerful. 5 words that carry weight, charm, and power all at once. You ready? You'll miss me one day. That's it. 5 words. Simple. But when you say it right, not with arrogance, not with desperation, with quiet confidence, it hits deep. Because every man understands what it means to lose something good. That message plants a seed in his mind. It makes him wonder what life looks like without your energy, your smile, your care. And the moment he starts wondering, he starts chasing. Men chase what they can't completely predict. When you become too available, too easy, too predictable, you lose your value. A woman's power doesn't come from her beauty alone. It comes from her presence. The way she walks away when something doesn't feel right. The way she holds her peace when a man expects her to beg for attention. The way she says, you'll miss me one day, not as a threat, but as a truth. You see, when a woman knows her worth, she doesn't fight to prove it. She simply lives it. And that's what drives a man crazy. Because he realizes she doesn't need me to feel valuable, but I need her to feel complete. That's the shift. That's the chase. So the next time you're tempted to double text him, pause. The next time you want to explain yourself just to get a reply, stop. Look in the mirror and remind yourself that a queen doesn't compete for attention. She commands it. Say those 5 words with grace and certainty. Because if he's the right man, he'll come running to remind you why you shouldn't walk away. And if he doesn't, then those 5 words won't just make him miss you. They'll make you remember what kind of woman you are. A woman worth chasing, worth keeping, and worth loving right. When a man truly sees a woman who knows her worth, everything changes. She doesn't chase him, doesn't compete, doesn't try to outshine anyone. She simply is. Her silence, her calm, her confidence. That's what keeps him awake at night wondering what's on her mind. That's the kind of woman men talk about long after she's gone. Because she didn't try to prove she was special. She knew she was, and he felt it in every moment. You text those 5 words, you'll miss me one day. Not out of anger, not out of manipulation, but from a place of truth. You know what you bring to the table, and you're not afraid to eat alone. Because when a man senses that you're not afraid of losing him, that you're at peace with yourself, that you won't beg for love, that's when he realizes how rare you are. Most people chase attention, only a few command respect. And that respect doesn't come from playing games. It comes from being authentic, graceful, and unbothered. Men are drawn to women who carry quiet power. The kind of power that doesn't need loud words or dramatic reactions. A woman who can look a man in the eye, smile, and walk away when her value isn't recognized. That's strength. That's the kind of strength that doesn't break hearts, it changes them. It makes a man reevaluate his priorities, his behavior, his choices. Because deep down, every man knows when a good woman leaves, she takes the light with her. And that's what those 5 words remind him of. They're not a plea. They're a mirror. They make him see what life looks like without your laughter, without your texts, without your warmth? Men don't realize what they have when it's there every day. They realize it in the silence that follows. They realize it when the phone stops buzzing, when the morning message doesn't come, when the peace they took for granted is gone. That's when it hits. That's when he remembers. That's when he starts chasing. But here's the secret. It's not about making him chase you. It's about reclaiming your energy. It's about shifting the focus back to yourself. Because when you love yourself so deeply that your happiness no longer depends on his attention, that's when the world starts chasing you. That's when opportunities, peace, and real love start to find you. You have to remember, love should never feel like a battlefield. If you're constantly fighting for someone's attention, it's not love, it's survival. And you weren't born to survive in love. You were born to thrive in it. You deserve the kind of love that shows up without you having to beg. The kind that protects your heart instead of testing it. The kind that brings calm, not confusion. When you send that message, you'll miss me one day. It's not a weapon, it's wisdom. It's your soul saying, I've done my part. I've loved, I've given, I've shown up. If that's not enough, I'll let life teach you what it feels like to lose someone real. Because sometimes walking away is the loudest statement of love you can ever make. Love for yourself. And trust me, the right man won't let you walk too far. The right man will feel that distance and run to close it. He'll realize that no one matches the way you cared, the way you listened, the way you made him feel seen. He'll remember that your silence used to be filled with laughter, that your absence now echoes louder than your presence ever did. And that's when he'll start to chase, not because of those 5 words, but because those words made him see his reflection. You see, love isn't about possession. It's about recognition. You don't chase someone who's meant for you. You meet them in the middle. The chase happens only when one person forgets your value and your strength reminds them. So don't waste your energy trying to convince a man to stay. Let your peace speak louder. Let your silence do the talking. Because a man who truly loves you will never need a reminder. He'll feel it in his bones when you start to pull away. There's something magnetic about a woman who's no longer afraid to lose. She doesn't text out of fear. She doesn't call out of anxiety. She doesn't explain what's already clear. She just steps back and lets life do its work. That kind of woman carries mystery, not because she hides, but because she values her peace. And that peace is what every man craves. You'll notice that when you stop chasing, the dynamic changes. Suddenly, he starts noticing the little things. The way you used to laugh at his jokes, the way your voice softened when you said his name, the way your messages carried warmth. He starts missing what he thought would always be there. Because men don't always understand value until absence teaches them. That's when the chase begins, when he realizes he can't replace what was real. So those 5 words are more than a message. They're a boundary, a declaration, a reminder that you know your worth. And that's why they're powerful. Because confidence doesn't shout, it whispers. It says, I'm not angry. I'm not broken. I'm just done giving energy where it's not appreciated. And that energy shift is what pulls him back. When you hold that power, everything around you starts to change. You attract better. You speak differently. You move differently. Because your energy no longer comes from needing love. It comes from beating love. And that's when you become unstoppable. Because now you're no longer chasing validation. You're attracting respect. So don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to step back. Don't be afraid to let silence speak. Because in a world where everyone's screaming to be noticed, your calm confidence will echo the loudest. And one day, when he finally understands what he lost, those 5 words will come true. He will miss you. But by then, you'll be too busy living the life you always deserved.